everybody, and welcome to round 21 of the QuickFit British Touring Car Championship here at Knockhill. It's the last race of the day, and we have had an almighty classic as well. A brilliant round 19, an unbelievable round 20, and now hopefully reverse grid will give us an exciting round 21. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi. Josh T is on his way as well. But Omi, so far today we've been spoilt for great racing.
Oh, we have been given so much good racing. Hill versus Sutton, the main highlight of the race. For about 6 laps, both of them were going at it. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch, and we were treated to a brilliant race. And then obviously race 1 had a lot of chaos in the wet. It was just absolutely brilliant. But I am sure that race 3 with the reverse grid is hopefully gonna be something similar.
Jake Hill's done the double with disqualifications coming in for Tom Ingram and Tom Chilton in race 1. It gifted Jake Hill race 1 victory. He won race 2 by 0.4 of a second to Ash Sutton. Sutton's had a bit of an up day as well, taking out Josh Cook in race 1 as well, and then getting docked to position for that contact. But he starts 6th on the grid in the next race, but Sutton leads the title, 288 points. Jake Hill, 258, the same as Tom Ingram as well. So 30 points separate the top 3. Colin Turkington, although not scoring last time out, he got taken out, and now he's on a fight back charge. He starts 25th today.
Yep, he absolutely is. But yeah, so far today I've just been banging and really a lot of celebrations for Jake Hill as well. But I think it's time to actually hear as well now.
It is. Let's cross over to Steve Ryder. He's talking with Paul O'Neill.
Knockhill. Here's a surprise for you. There's a huge black cloud coming over that mountain here, and they reckon there's a cloudburst about 10 minutes away. So
really?
This is going to be fun. This is going to be
race
fun.
3 will be
Let's
wet.
just reflect
Brilliant.
for a moment before we get into all the issues in race 3. That performance from Jake Hill, with Ash Sutton on his tail for the last 6 laps of the race, was something else.
Stunning. I said to you just before you left to do the reverse grid that I thought that was probably one of Jake Hill's best ever victories. His weakness was the chicane. Ash Sutton's car, so well damped. It's got great torque. As soon as it lands, it was just driving up to the back of him. How he managed that race was, for me, was one of his best ever performances. I know he's won double headers before, but that second race there was absolutely stunning, and I think he knows that, but he probably didn't want to give away too much because he knows the championship now. He's in 2nd place. He's got a real good chance.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary championship. I mean, we left Croft 2 weeks ago wondering how Ash Sutton was still only 6 points ahead. Here we are heading for the 3rd race at Knockhill, wondering how on earth he's 30 points ahead, especially after all the dramas of the opening race. Let's just give you a quick check on the championship table. And it shows, I think, and there have been a couple of versions of it over the course of the last hour or so as all the judicial stuff has been worked out. And we've now got a 30-point lead for Ash Sutton. And Jake Hill and Tom Ingram tied together for 2nd place, 258 points each, 30 points behind Ash Sutton, and a very, very interesting grid for the reverse grid race sees Jake Hill just ahead of Tom Ingram, who at the moment he must consider to be his championship rival. He's got to build a gap to Tom Ingram and then go after Ash Sutton in terms of the championship.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that just looking at that point score as well, I would say the top 4 are definitely championship contenders. But I think I'll see how Colin Turkington gets on in this race. But I think it's down to 3 people now, if I'm honest. I know that's an early thing to say. But yeah, I do think that Jake will just now be as flat out as he can be. He's got nothing to lose, and Ash Sutton, really, with that points advantage, that's where I expect him to be.
Yeah.
But the car is that good and Ash is so good that that's where I'd expect him to be.
Okay, one of your 3 for the title, Tom Ingram, has been talking with Louise.
Well, Tom, race 2 and this race are obviously all about the fight back. I know you were hoping for number 12 to be pulled out. Didn't quite go your way this time, though, did it?
It was never going to. Yeah, the reverse grid is always black magic how it actually works. So it's yeah, it's one of those. A little disappointed, obviously, not to have won out of it, but it is what it is. It's a luck of the draw. Very pleased for Ronan to be on the front row. This is a great moment for him. His home circuit in front of all his home supporters, everyone from Macklin Motors. It's really good for him. So I'm wishing him the best of luck. I'm really excited for him as well and for the rest of the team. So for ourselves, let's get forwards. Let's see what we can recover from today.
What are your thoughts? I mean, you've got Josh Cook just up ahead of you on the soft tyres. I think one other driver up ahead on the soft tyres. What do you think is the maximum you can hope to get from this race or expect to get from this race?
I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to be on the slicks for that long. There is an enormous cloud just over your right shoulder, just behind the camera there, that looks the most ominous cloud I've ever seen. So if it doesn't rain, I'll be more surprised than if it does. So I don't think we'll be on it that long. However, if it is dry, I think we're in good shape. You know, the bunch, the majority of us are on the mediums. Josh will be fast. Stephen will be fast on the softs. So let's see how it plays itself out. I think that the important thing is to come out the back of this weekend with some points and just see where it all ends up for us. Race 3 at Knockhill with the potential of rain. Goodness me, it's going to be carnage, isn't it?
Sounds like fun. Thanks, Tom.
I'm not sure that's a rain cloud. Looks more like a volcano to me heading our way. But let's take a look at the grid, the reverse grid. And Jake Hill drew number 7, put Ronan Pearson onto pole position. He'll be alongside Ricky Collard. Then Dan Lloyd, Aaron Taylor-Smith, Stephen Jelly, alongside Ash Sutton, who's ahead of Jake Hill, who in turn is ahead of Tom Ingram, who completes that top 10. In all their minds will be the thought, we must get something out of race 3 on a touring car day.
They've got to. I mean, this is the race that Ash Sutton usually has a nightmare in, isn't it? The third race of the day. So, yeah, looking at that, I mean, look at the people around Sutton. He's got Jelly on soft tyres, who should be up the road, really. He's got a really good chance, but there is a few other little bits and bobs going on, and I think Sutton will just be happy to get through those first few laps and just finish in the top 6. But Ingram's got nothing to lose. They need to just capitalise on what goes on. The other thing to look out for, I think Rob Huff will be on a soft tyre as well, so he could come through if it stays dry, but that does look pretty horrendous behind us.
Yeah, I mean, what sort of choices are available now in terms of tyres? They must all be thinking down there, it's going to rain in 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the one thing that Accelerate and Ingram will probably do, and the other teams, is probably now they will go up a couple of turns on the ride height. If they do need to swap to wets, and they do win the race, they can't afford, especially Ronan Pearson. I'd be surprised if he had a dry ride height on that car. I reckon they'll have gone up a couple of turns, because that boy could actually get on the podium here. The last thing he would want is to have that taken away from him. But yeah, they will probably maybe go for a little hybrid setup, because it does look like it's going to rain, to be honest. So.
It really does, doesn't it? The rain clouds coming in. Just want to quickly welcome in Josh T, who's caught back. Josh, great second race. Don't know how much you've seen of it. It was epic, but you seem to bring the rain, my friend, because you're here for race 1 and it started raining. You're here again and it's doing exactly the same thing. Big, massive rain cloud coming in.
Yeah, but I've just seen who's on pole. Ronan Pearson.
Yep, reverse grid looking
well,
good.
But, we'll get to that after that. I believe we're going down to Louise on the grid.
He's brought a few fans along with him.
Let's hear from Ronan Pearson, shall we?
First year in the British Touring Car Championship and first pole position. And I mean, Ronan, you live literally 5 miles down the road. As we've just heard, you've got quite a few friends and family here. You know the circuit so well because you work here as an instructor. This pole position could not have come at a better place for you, could it?
It's an absolute fairy tale. It really is, Louise. I lined up P5 earlier on, and I thought you would come and speak to me. And I thought, oh, she still hasn't. I've been waiting to see you all season. But that's we're up to this point. But the 4-leaf clover is turned, and yeah, wow, it feels really, really special. Lining up with all friends, family, my partners, team partners. It's like I scored a goal at home. It's just incredible. And no matter what happens, today we've shown what we can actually do.
Well, I can see him just looking. I know you've got a special helmet this weekend. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it's got Iceman on it, which is your nickname. You're normally really laid back, cool, calm and collected, but have you got just a few nerves creeping in?
It's weird. It's nice and peaceful when you've got no one in front of you to look at. Again, channeling the inner Iceman, it's no different this race to when I lined up P14 this morning, if I'm honest. Hopefully I'll come round lap 1 in the lead. And after that, it's qualifying lap after qualifying lap. But yeah, hopefully the racing gods look down on us and we can bring home a good result.
Well, the racing gods, I can just feel it on the back of my neck, so my hood's going up, are just about throwing at us something
big
that
rain.
you all know all too well, which is rain at Knockhill. The fact that, you do work here, you know the way the water flows across this track, don't you? Because it can be particularly tricky down at the hairpin. How much help is that going to be? Or is it really
This
just
is why
kind of
I
in the
didn't
lap of the
go.
gods if it absolutely throws it down?
It's a nice timely point for it to lash down as it is about to. You are right. I know where it pulls the water and where the rivers flow. But if we're on a slick tyre, it doesn't really matter because there'll be no grip. Hopefully, it's going to rain quite a bit or it's going to stop soon, and that'll be the decision made.
I think it's going to rain quite a bit, and I can just behind me hear the car rattling and the wet tyres going onto this car. So, right, we'll leave you now. Have a good one, Ronan. We'll leave Ronan to collect his thoughts. And let's go across and, or we'll go backwards, actually. I'm going to go backwards and have a word. Sorry, my hood's, I can't see where I'm going now with my hood in my face. I'm going to have a word with Dan Lloyd, who's having a really good weekend. I think he's having his best weekend in the championship so far. And Dan, I know you kind of feel like you're really starting to get to grips with this car. You were telling me earlier on at the beginning of the season, you're kind of making massive changes. You're onto tweaks now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're getting it all together, you know. I think this year it's so difficult to get in the top 10. It's obviously mega competitive with the Napa cars, WSR cars, Ingram. So it's difficult just to get in the top 10. So things are coming together now and we're doing well and just trusting the process, really. So to get up here is a big achievement. So I'm happy with what we're doing at the minute.
But last race, that was your best result of the season so far, wasn't it?
Yeah, we came from P10 and did 5 overtakes, and it was a really enjoyable race. So obviously great to get some coverage for 24/7 blinds and develop, and yeah, it's good. But this weather, oh my God, I can't wait to watch it all back when I get home.
This is proper kind of, you could be hero, it could all go to zero. I mean, do you like this? Is this like, yeah, this is exciting to watch afterwards maybe, but are you excited about driving in what's potentially coming our way?
Yeah, I wanted it to be wet and my answers have been answered, but as long as it's not a lottery, I hate it when it's a lottery, So it's wet now. We've been quick, so let's see what we can do.
Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to go have a word with Aaron Taylor-Smith. In fact, it's not coming down really as heavily as I thought it might when we looked at... Well, don't want to speak too soon because there's plenty of time yet for that to happen, but yeah. When I looked at that black cloud, I thought it was going to absolutely thunder down, and it's just a little bit of gentle Scottish rain at the moment. So let's dive in and have a word with Aaron, who, again, another driver. You're having a really good run here so far this weekend. Best weekend of the year, most definitely.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction. I think, I said to the team afterwards, like, this car is unbelievably good. But more importantly, I kind of just want to put on a little show for Oakley, who's sat here watching. I want her to watch these back in years to come and be proud of who I was. So fingers crossed I can keep it on the black stuff and do a good job with this one as well.
I love the fact that, yourself, obviously, you've had it locally. A couple of other drivers had babies recently. It's made all of you keep talking about the difference it makes to you, the feeling you have just having your child here watching you, even if they're not really taking it in yet.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I'm so proud to be on this grid, and I want her to be able to look back and think, one day, God, my dad was pretty cool. So it's just nice to know that Lauren and I are creating those memories. And 20, 30 years now, we look back on this, and she can take it all in. I hope she remembers just how much I love her and how happy I am to have her here with me.
Fantastic. Right, it is now thundering down, so I'm going to shut your door and so you keep as dry as possible. We're going to go for a break, and I'm going to go and find some shelter. We'll see you for the start of this race in a few minutes.
Run, Lou, run! It is really coming down now at the track as well. 16 degrees is the air temperature. Track temperature also at 16 degrees. And I think, Josh, as well, poor Lou, who wasn't well 2 weeks ago, might just have a touch of a cold come Monday as well. It is getting really bad out there, which means it's going to be a full wet race once more. And they always have standing starts. No starting behind the safety car and this stuff.
Yeah, and you are definitely glad that you did not go to Knockhill this weekend, definitely, Josh.
I would have lost equipment.
with rain pouring like that, then it's going to be an absolutely crazy race 3 coming up.
And Omi, we saw how crazy race 1 ended, with everybody changing over to wet tyres and Tingram coming back through, then getting disqualified from the race as well. If this turns into a race that is the opposite of number 1, where they have to come in for slick tyres, unlikely, I know, but if it does happen, how much is that really going to play on the mind of Colin Turkington starting 25th?
It really will, and then you have to be bold with whatever strategy you do if you are further back. But yeah, I'm also kind of happy that I decided not to go as well, because there was a slight chance I could probably go to Knockhill, but yeah, I'm going Silverstone instead. But let's hope it's not raining when we get to Silverstone. But back onto Knockhill, yeah, with the rain, it's going to cause more chaos, and strategy is going to play a massive part, and you got to time everything right. And I think we could see a lot of safety cars and red flags and a lot of chaos once again.
One driver I feel sorry for, Adam Morgan, having to start at the back of the field as well. He was going to start on the soft compound tyre. He would be the only driver who would have started on the soft compound tyre and would have had a major advantage. Now, with all this coming down, they're all going to be on wet weathers. The pit lane is closed. Track temperatures and air temperatures now dropped to 15 as well. Josh, 24 laps around a slippery Knockhill. Should I just pop into the house, say dinner might be a bit late for me? Red flags coming?
Yes, definitely. It's Knockhill. It's always chaotic, but Knockhill in the wet. Well, it's Knockhill. It's wet literally every single day. Sometimes, somewhere, it's got a completely different climate. A little bit like Spa.
It is very much like Spa, isn't it? Sorry to cut you off, but it's time to hand back over to Steve Ryder, who'll introduce David Addison and Tim Harvey, and then they'll have a word with the drivers, and we'll come back up for the grid. Steve. Oh, wow.
In Louise's words, which might turn out to be one of the sports quotes of the year, it's not raining as hard as I thought it would be. It is now absolutely torrential here at Knockhill. People are taking whatever cover they can. And Paul O'Neill, what happens from this point on?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I've got to say, I love the Scottish fans, because I would never, ever in my life be still sat there. I'd be getting in my car and going home. But I've got to say, on a serious note, the rear-wheel drive drivers will not be happy starting the race in these conditions, because you get aquaplane situations in front-wheel drive cars, in rear-wheel drive cars, but it's a lot more unpredictable in rear-wheel drive cars.
That's true, it is unpredictable, I forgot about that.
I am quite concerned that I wouldn't want to be driving a rear-wheel drive car in this, and there you go. So that Porsche
That's
is
start
rear-wheel drive,
aborted, start aborted.
and that is showing how much water is on this circuit. There you go, that's...
Wow, yeah, Josh T, we're just looking at the TV pictures now. That's a normal Porsche road car going around, and it's aquaplaning. This start is in a delay process until we get this water gone, and it's bringing all the debris on from everything else. And there was oil at the bottom of the track at Taylor's hairpin. That's now been brought back onto the track.
Yeah, and of course, with the amount of altitude changes and the hills at Knockhill, down at the chicane and at the hairpin, there's going to be massive rivers forming from all the water. And look at that. Outside the back of the studio, that's on the exit of Taylor's hairpin.
We've had it confirmed.
But yeah, there's going to be...
Start delayed.
Start delayed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the message for you on race control. Look, there it is. Start delayed is the information coming from race control, and it's the wise decision. I mean, this is the worst it's been all day. It's been on and off, hasn't it? But this is literally just open up the weather and just sort of dump all the water onto Scotland.
Yep. It's all happening now, and there's a lot of rain on the circuit, so not a surprise that not really a surprise that the start is delayed, but
we might lose.
Yeah,
we might lose you. Just realised we might lose you because you've got to go to One Hub Racing. So
yeah, Jess is gonna kill me.
Well, if you need to disappear, yeah.
Well, I'd say I've got an hour.
Oh, it should be good. Fingers crossed, eh? Right, let's cross back over to David. Let's cross over now to Steve Ryder and Paul O'Neill.
We joke about the weather and stuff. It's like Monaco up here. It really is. As a driver, there is no other place that you want to be. Tim Harvey in comms always says how, you know, it's controlled aggression. It's just the best thing when you're bouncing off the curbs and you're getting on the throttle. And what we've seen from Jake Hill and Ash Sutton before is the pinnacle of British motorsport. And it's just a great place, wet or dry. But when it's like this, it's a safety issue for me for every car on the grid, but especially rear-wheel drive cars.
Yeah. Let's go up to Tim Harvey and David Addison up in the commentary box. Hopefully you're staying dry, fellas. What's the view from up there?
The view is of an increasingly wet track. The view is also, though, of myriad circuit vehicles. Not only has, as you've been looking, Alan Gow done a lap, but also the safety car has put itself at the head of the queue. So one option, I guess, is that you could do a safety car start, which gives the drivers a chance under control conditions to have a look at the circuit to see where the puddles are. But it is easing off a little bit over our shoulder.
Yeah, I think the delayed start is the right thing to do. It gives just a chance for the huge volume that fell very quickly to run away. The danger, as Paul's alluded to, is the big rivers of water that run across the track at
so
certain
safety car
points.
start is possible, okay.
But, you know, if the rain abates a little bit, those big puddles will at least drain away a bit. But certainly we're looking at a lot of water on the track.
It's
Bad
F1 level
visibility.
rain.
Yeah.
I actually think the BMWs, when it's completely wet, are plenty competitive. Jake Hill was quickest in the second practice in the wet. It's the intermittent conditions they don't particularly like. Turkington has now realised it is raining. I think he was just hoping that something might abate, the track dries quickly earlier, but you know, clearly it wasn't going to race on slicks. So all cars will be on wets as we expect. It's just the puddles. There's an example of the water running across the track.
So the grid is formed, and as we stand at the moment, it will still be 24 laps. The start delayed board was the last communication that was on the timing screen for the teams. But is it easing? Is it brightening?
You see, that, I think, is on the exit of the chicane, on the run to Clark. So that's a point where the cars are loaded up on the left-hand side. They're running across a big puddle. It's not easy to control the car.
Indeed. Right, well, we are ready to go as soon as the track conditions are safe enough for us to go racing. That's the view from up here, Steve.
Yeah, and we can confirm the view from down here as well. You could see some brightness in the distance, and so could we. In fact, we can see a little bit of blue sky beyond that thunderous black cloud over the mountain. So I think this rain is going to disappear in about 10 minutes or so. We've been talking all the way through the afternoon about how swiftly this track dries, but this is something else, isn't it?
It really is, yeah, and it's been resurfaced not long ago, so yeah, it's just finding its way in the worst places, like Tim and David were saying. It's when the big puddles appear, and literally the Goodyear tyres, wet or dry, are fantastic tyres. You've just got to be careful in the braking zones. If you are just, you know, in the wrong place at the wrong time, you'll go straight on. That looks like the run up to Clark, I think it is. And if you touch a big puddle there, you're going to go straight in the wall. Actually, that looks like it's coming down towards the hairpin. I wouldn't want to be driving around that corner. That wouldn't be nice.
Okay, so it's a bit of a challenging scene out there, but we'll take a break, and I'm sure that when we return, it'll be glorious sunshine.
Chance would be a fine thing, guys, and this is now just getting a little bit worse with the conditions. I do not know what is going to happen next. Where do we go from here, Josh? Because we're in a bit of unknown territory. It's not often a touring car race gets delayed. Quite usually, we go green quite quickly, and if anything happens, we just sort of manage with it. It's not typical touring cars, but this came out so suddenly on the grid, and it's a hilly circuit, and the amount of rainfall you get in the Highland of Scotland, it's not great.
Yeah, and just quickly going back to what I said about safety car, that's not British touring cars. If it's needed, then we'll do it with the safety car start. Well, I think we'll go for a safety car start for like the first time in, well, I can't remember the last time we went. 12 years, right, cool.
Well, maybe 11. It was Thruxton 2012, the last time we went for a safety car start in the touring cars. Race 2 and 3, due to the wet weather.
Thruxton having delays at wet weather, that's unheard of as well. But definitely not unheard of at Knockhill. But as I said, if we have to do it, we have to do it.
Just taking a look at Twitter as well. When was the last BTCC race to be cancelled due to bad weather? I certainly cannot remember in my 11 years covering the sport that there's ever been a race cancelled due to bad weather. We've always at least started a race, and that's 30 races a year for 10 years and then another 27. So that's 327 plus 19. And over 350 races I've commentated on the touring cars now. I can't remember one of them, Josh, getting abandoned. Do you?
No, I can't think of any.
We never even had rounds cancelled. Even during the COVID pandemic, we were able to get every racetrack was able to hold one meeting. We only had 9 rounds, but every track held a meeting, even in Scotland at Knockhill. So yeah, we visited everywhere once in 2020 for 9 weekends a year. At the moment, just having a look, Andrew Kettle says, at Paul O'Neill, BTCC fishing anyone? Wrong part of Scotland in the Highlands to get some fish, although I think Noah has built an ark to sail down to get back on towards Linlithgow in Edinburgh.
I mean, Paul O'Neill does like his fishing.
He does as well, yeah. He does like fishing. I mean, he was just talking about that earlier on, actually, wasn't he, fishing? Looking at the track images that you're seeing with us as well on TweetDeck, just if you're watching along with us, ignore the people in the hot dog queue. This chap in a team shirt and shorts is a true hardcore fan. He really is, isn't he? That little kid as well. I think it's a little kid anyway, looking at that. A die-hard fan, 110%. Well, I'm standing here in the commentary box in shorts and a fancy Hawaiian shirt, and it's quite pleasant, actually. It's a bit sunny outside where I am, but air temperature now down at 13 degrees and still raining
For
heavily.
me, it looks like it's about to rain.
Go on.
For me, it looks like it's about to rain.
Oh, God. No rain. Let's hope it's not like this at Silverstone. I'm very glad I didn't go now to Knockhill because it would have broken every single piece of equipment I own. And that includes a 180 quid headset, £13 microphones that are professional standards, and we've got 3 of those. And we would have had 2 as well, trackside. iRig mics, iPhone probably would have got waterlogged as well, the charger cables. I would have probably been electrocuted the amount of stuff I was wearing when I'm trackside, because I've got the wireless emitter stuff now so that I can put the camera down and I can move away, because I've got the, like Ted's got the belt pack. I've got all that equipment now, so I've got a belt pack I can do it. Yeah.
I'm going to probably take my terrible mic I have. Even worse than this.
Your handheld mic, actually, I don't know what's the mic's not damaged. The lead, I don't know what's the lead's up to. We need to get you a bus mixer.
The lead is always messing around.
We need to get you a bus mixer like we've got as well. We'll have to get that. I'll have to send that across and say, look, this is what you need. This is the headphones you need, and then you'll all be fine. You'll all be good. Like Josh has got his equipment that he's built up over the past 3 seasons now, isn't it? Blimey, 2021. Okay, that's enough of us waffling. 27 laps, apparently. We're being told it's now going to be a 27-lap race. We're going to start behind the safety car for 3 laps. So I think that's the distance we're going to have. A safety car start for 3 laps. And then we will go racing for 24. That's what I'm being told. Let's go back to Steve Ryder. Not just yet, because they're talking about the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, and the Rugby Union coming up as well. But I think, Josh T, the race extended now to 27 laps. That's the 3 laps extra for the safety car. So presumably, 3 laps, safety car, in we go, green flag, rolling start.
Sounds like it.
That's the first time since 2012 I can remember a start behind the safety car. We've even had lights fail. Do you know, we've had lights fail at Croft before, and the race started with the Union flag back in 2010. That's how much it was. Anyway, back to Steve Ryder.
Who will get the
Sounds
hand?
like a British touring car thing to do.
It is? Steve.
France, or the #1 team in the world, Ireland, the holders, South Africa. Will New Zealand lift it for a 4th time? And what about England, Wales, or indeed Scotland? You can find out right here on ITV. Every game is live, and our coverage starts on September the 8th. Well, that's the magic of a 3-minute commercial break. The rain seems to have moved away. It's not entirely stopped yet, but we've got the promise of action. We've got a green flag
safety car
lap in just
start.
a couple of minutes' time. And what lies ahead, do you feel, Paul?
I think what lies ahead is a fantastic race. This will just be Ash Sutton trying to just get right. I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen him drop back a few places just to keep on the track. He's got such a good advantage now. As you can see, Eddie Moffat just trying to sort his belts and his radio out. But yeah, I think we'll be in for a cracker. it's not as if they've not done any wet laps around here, Steve, so I think everyone will be spot on. Bit of a shame for Rob Huff, who we're on board with. I was looking forward to see what he could do on soft tyres against, you know, a lot of medium runners, but he knows what it's like to drive these cars, so we might get some good footage off him as well.
Okay, bit delayed, still very wet, but let's go up to the commentary box and join David and Tim.
So the race will start behind the safety car. That's the message we've been given from race control right now. We are going to go racing. It will be a 27-lap race. That's 3 laps behind the safety car. And for the first time since 2012 at Thruxton, it is green lights and away we go behind the safety car. Round 21 of the QuickFit British Touring Car Championship is go. Behind the safety car, Pearson, Collard, Lloyd, Taylor-Smith, Jelly, Sutton, Hill, Cook, Watson, Ingram, Gamble, Doble, Patterson, Huff, Butcher, Chilton, Osborne, Crees, Moffat, Butel, Holstead, De Leon, Rowbottom, Camish, Turkington, Edwards and Morgan is the running order. The safety car leads them around and we are officially racing here at Knockhill. Josh, I think that was the only correct decision. This is lap 1 of 27. The race has started. I don't think ITV know about it because they're showing the grid, but this is the start of the race.
Yeah, well, I believe it is the start of the race. We may have one warm-up lap, then go into the start of the race. We'll have to find out. Is time and screens displaying lap 1 of 12?
Yes.
Or lap 1 of 4?
They are. We are officially in
But
lap
the
1 of
timing-
12.
Yeah, but sometimes the timing pages are messing around, so we can't always believe them.
On this instance, I do. I 110% believe them on this instance because it does look like we are into that start procedure that we were worried about. So this is effectively now, officially, lap 1 of the race. And now we're on to lap 2, so the safety car will continue again. Pearson leads from Collard, Lloyd, Taylor-Smith, Jelly, Sutton, Hill as well. So this is lap 2 of the race. We are underway. There as well is Rory Butcher. Just to give you an understanding of what the championship standings are like. Ash Sutton leads 288 points to Jake Hill 258, the same as Ingram. Let's have a word with Butcher.
David, it's typically Scottish, and the conditions are not great out here. So I think it's the right choice to do the safety car start. I think it's incredible to see all the Scottish fans and all the British touring car fans, no matter where they're from, standing on the side of the track here. They're just braving it out, and it just shows their dedication. It's incredible.
Dedication's the word. Now look, tell me about the track surface. Is it consistently bad, or are some parts worse than others?
Some parts worse than others. Yeah, you just got to kind of watch yourself offline. There is some grip on the racing line, so yeah, we're just trying to find it out now.
And fingers crossed it starts to brighten a little bit and the road dries, and then it becomes a bit of a lottery. It's going to be a tough race, this.
It is. It's going to be difficult. I think race of attrition, David. Bit of a story, the story of the day, really. Just who can make it to the end of the race with minimal mistakes. So yeah, just got to play the long game in this one.
Good luck. Leave you to it. Thanks, Rory.
Thanks, David.
Rory Butcher there talking with David Addison, still under safety car conditions as we start the 3rd lap here. This is the last lap that was added for the safety car benefit, so anyone after this, we are officially into the procedure for starting the race, and I don't think, Josh, they're going to go for it. I think this could be a red flag. The track looks horrendous out there.
Yep, looks like it, but we'll see what the drivers think about it. As well as they come across the line towards turn 1, there's quite a lot of mist and spray.
Yeah, it's getting heavier, Romy, as well, isn't it? And this is the kind of weather we had at the mid-half of race 1, just after Josh left, isn't it? But it's getting a bit darker, the clouds are heavier, and it's not relenting much.
Yep, it's just absolute chaos is the weather. And we've been having a lot of bad weather, haven't we, lately in motorsport? Because we also had because we basically had the Spa weekend, then we had MotoGP, and the safety car still out, and then we also had the IndyCar, didn't we, at Nashville?
Well, across the line then, and this makes it official. The race is underway here, across the line, under the safety car. Round 21 begins. So this is now lap 4 of 27. We've had the 3 laps that were added for the safety car start. This now effectively was the opening lap. So this still out there. So how long we're going to run it? We have to complete some running though. So there's a bit of sunshine coming in, Josh T, actually, so you could drive the track. I would say go green. Yes, there's spray, but the rain has stopped, and for the moment, we've got some sunshine starting to beat down on the track.
I mean, you're not a proper racer if you don't race in the wet with spray, I think, and a lot of people agree on that. But yeah, it's quite spray heavy, but if we don't go green now, it's going to turn into a little bit of F1 with
Well, it's 6 o'clock just coming up to, and this is when the race should have ended. We've been on air for 36 minutes, so it's already a bit of a long delay.
Long touring car podcast, I have to say, by the time this ends.
Yeah, it's been... Do you know, today, every commentary we've done, it's gone over an hour. We had a delay to race 1, we had a long delay to race 2, and now delay to race 3. So 4 laps completed behind the safety car, on to lap 5, and nothing is happening. And into the pit lane, who was that diving in? I can't quite tell on the monitor just yet. It's Aaron Taylor Smith. So Taylor Smith dives in. Now what tyre? Yeah, what's he going to do with the tyres? That's going to be a brave gamble to put slicks on. What's he doing? Oh, hang on, it's an engine problem. Heads up. Yeah, heads up. So that's going to be more work. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. So we're going to go racing with 22 to go. Okay, awesome. That's brave. I'm going to say red flag turn 4. Just thinking. It's going to happen. It can't be allowed, surely. Lights are out on that Porsche. And Ronan Pearson will lead us to a rolling start with Collard, along with Lloyd. Taylor Smith back in the pit lane. Supplements Jelly up once more. They will not line up on the grid. It will be a rolling start for the first time since Thruxton, race 2 in 2012. And Ronan Pearson, a normal safety car restart, will exit the last corner. A lot of lockups, a lot of standing water into Taylor's hairpin. There's no overtaking to the line. Round 21 of the QuickFit British Touring Car Championship is now green. Across the line, a lot of spray, but Pearson on his home circuit, just 5 miles away is where he was born. He leads from Collard in second, and looking through on the inside line, that's Tom Ingram, already trying to go through a move on Watson, and he's got him into turn 1 at Duffer's Dip. Now through Leslie's, into McIntyre's. The real big trouble, though, will be coming through Butcher's up to the Black Circle chicane. If there's anybody that's going to take 2 wheels here, there's a nasty puddle just at the exit. Few cars having a little bit of a moment, but they've got not enough power to keep on going. So a good start and everyone behaving themselves exactly like we needed to do.
Yep, everybody stays on the road for now, but we're coming up towards the hairpin, probably one of the most treacherous parts of the circuit.
Jelly. Oh, they can't stop. That's a bit tight, and that's a little bit of contact. Jake Hill on the inside with Josh Cook on the outside line coming through Taylor's hairpin. And, well, that's going to be pretty much out of it. Hill's getting forced off as well. Cook goes into the fend because Ingram's right behind him. Wall of spray. You can't even see the car just ahead of Ash Sutton in 5th position of Jake Hill. The championship protagonists are together, and Hill's made a mistake coming through Leslie's, and Cook's trying to go through on a full opposite lock as well. We saw, Omi, exactly what Josh Cook was like this morning and how he can race in these conditions. He wants back ahead of Jake Hill.
Yeah, he wants to get back past Jake Hill, but yeah, luckily they've all been able to keep it clean, and Cook's going to have a chance. He's going to try and get past Hill, but very hard in these wet conditions. He's trying different racing lines to get on the power earlier than his rival and trying to find a way through, but luckily they've all kept it clean so far.
Luckily so, Pearson still leading this race. Aaron Taylor-Smith is down in 27th as they come into Taylor's hairpin once more. A little bit of a lock-up. Hill under pressure. Cook just defended from Ingram very well. Watson now under attack from Gamble. Doble's in there too. Rowbottom's past Butel. On board with Rory Butcher. But meantime, Dan Lloyd's going for second place. Collard's alongside him as well. Stephen Jelly just behind. Collard's aquaplaning. Door mirror to door mirror. They can't stop. And Lloyd's going to go straight on. Collard takes off. Collard hits the side of Stephen Jelly. Jumps over the curb. Sutton goes through. Jelly's involved. Hill's in there too. Jelly back on the inside line. Forces Collard wide. Hill gets a tap to the back of Collard. And now, look at that as well. Ingram getting a tap to the back. It's all chaos as they come up the hill. Collard still going through, and Holstead's in the wall, and the safety car's out.
That was expected. That was expected in these wet conditions, but yeah, all over the road. All over the road, these guys were while they were battling. So that was kind of expected. A safety car needed to be out there. I would be surprised if as we have Collard, Hill ahead of Jelly as well as the timing page updates now, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a red flag. We need to see how the barrier is, but it did look like he has hit the wall, so gonna be interesting to see how the barrier is as well.
Yeah, tire wall, remember, that needs to be reformed in this part of the track. If one can go in, they can all go in. But Josh, that was insanely close. Sutton, who had a bad race 1, good race 2 was second, now back in for race 3, then he got taken out. He's back up to third. The championship leader by 30 points is just being gifted more and more points.
Yeah, well, that was very, too close for comfort for Ash Sutton there. If he wants to get this championship, he really needs to calm down a little bit and just get the points in. And here's what happened. Look at that. Collard absolutely flying over the curb.
Took full front left wheel over it. That launched him into the side of Jelly. Jelly had nowhere to go. Sutton just darts through, and then Hill gets a little tap to the back left of Collard. And Hill just sort of had to stop Cook and Ingram coming back through. And this was down at the hairpin with Dan Camish, and that's Holstead. So he's locked up at the hairpin and gone straight on. Didn't even see him at the wall. And I don't know, Omi, what do you think? I think he's just nerfed it. It's not as bad. It's the aero fence he's hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty slow in, so not fast in, so that will be all right. But yeah, hopefully we will be getting green once again, once obviously the car is fully cleared as well. But yeah, safety car back out around this circuit, and Pearson was doing really well as well before the safety car came out, so he'll be looking to continuing that when we do get back to green flag racing. But they're all scrapping away for second and behind.
And Pearson, Lloyd, Sutton, Collard, Hill, Jelly, Cook, the biggest winner at that start, Rowbottom and Camish up 4 places from where they originally started as well. So a great launch between them here. But Ronan Pearson at his home circuit leads this race, and he's going to have to have Lloyd and then Sutton right behind them. Safety car is in again this lap, but Holstead has managed to keep the engine going, and the ITVX car, giving us a little bit more sponsorship, is coming back out to play. Oh no, he's coming into the pit lane. Never mind.
It was worth a try.
It was. It was worth a go, and it definitely is always worth a go. So, Pearson will have another attack, and this time Lloyd's going to be ready for it. There is Dowell Dion as well, so Dion is in the pits with engine issues for Team Hard. Once again, that car having problems. Of course, Dion coming back in to replace Jade Edwards, who's moved back to the One Sport Motorsport. Oh, and Pearson hitting the puddle on the brakes, coming into Taylor's hairpin. Just about gets the restart going. Green flag again here at Knockhill. We don't extend the distance because we started behind the safety car, so any safety car laps, unfortunately, will count as racing laps. Collard's looking like he's got 2 bionic blusher marks on his side of the left wheel arches, as well as those bits of Lego that they stick on for aerodynamic winglets have come off as well. As Gamble tries to have a look on the inside of Watson, and now we're looking on board. I can't even tell who's ahead of us there. That's Sutton looking on board as well. Jenny trying to go back to the back of Collard. And Moffat's past Chilton. And in these visibilities, it's really hard to see, but Sutton's on the back of Lloyd, getting quite good. And now the exit of Clark's. Sutton's on the inside line. Lloyd's going to go defensive as well. He knows how to play this one. He's not going to take it any easier. Sutton has got a championship to think about as well. He wants maximum points, going to go very late. Lloyd goes defensive, and then it's just a breaking game of who could stop. No! Hill can't stop! And second in the championship takes out Stephen Jelly. Hill, who has won the opening 2 races here at Knockhill, hits the the side of Stephen Jelly on the right. And he is round. Jelly's dropped down the order. Hill's dropped down the order. Is he out of the points? I think he is. 14th, 16th, yes. Hill scores 0 points. As we see, contact. Cook hits the side of Collard. Ingram's in there too. So Cook's going to go right round the outside. And Collard's going to stay with him. Coming through into Butchers and at the hill once more. Into Black Circle Chicane. And Sutton goes through and Lloyd coming down into Clark's. Sutton to P2, but Pearson's got a 1.5 second lead. But that is Hill, 16th. Sutton is going to extend his championship lead to over 52 points as things stand in the championship. Unbelievable stuff. You've got to count in though, where is Ingram? He's P6. Bad stuff from Hill, and Sutton being gifted every single day here. Race 1, yes, finished 6th, but kept the lead in the title by 12 points. What do you make of it, Josh? Just couldn't stop.
Yeah, absolute, really dramatic there, and you can see the Laser Tools Racing team their reaction. But yeah, really dramatic there. And I was about to say, could this be a weekend where we don't have a napper on top of the podium? Well, Sutton, he's gained 4, and now he's chasing down Pearson.
Cook had a little bit of a moment coming over the Black Circle Chicane, and he got a little bit of a wiggle, and Ingram thought about it on the inside line, and look already, that's Ronan Pearson, that is Ash Sutton. He hasn't used any of his 6 laps of hybrid. That's Rob Huff back in, and he's had double points finishes here. He was 13th in race 1, 14th race 2. Pearson has a little bit of a lock-up on the puddle. That's going to allow Sutton to get the cut back, and he's using his hybrid power. Sutton takes the lead with ease for the first time today. The lap of 4 hits the front on lap 14 of 27. Sutton leads. He didn't even use hybrid power, Josh. He just got the power down, and that Ford so quick. But now the front-wheel drive is hitting that water first.
Well, that's the end of that story, folks, for race 3.
56.43 out. And this is it, look. So Pearson hits the water, locks up, goes a little bit wide, opens the door. Sutton gets a nicer exit, and Omi just goes straight through. That's what he tried to do to Hill in race 2, but never could. Pearson didn't defend, but Sutton, he's been trying that move all day. Oh, and Ingram gets ahead of Collard.
Yeah, Sutton leads again. Bye-bye. I don't even know what to say. Sutton finds his way. He's just having so much luck, but also Hill. And also that's how your weekend can change in the touring cars. 2 wins and now all the way to the back of the field in this one.
Oh, that's a little bit of a wide moment as well. That was coming from one of the Toyotas going through, so I'll wait to see. Was that Collard going wide and Gamble and Patterson through? I can't quite tell. It's Butcher. And there is the 32. And that's going to be coming through. It's very hard to tell car colours at the moment. There's the 42 there of Gamble. And he's on attack from Dexter Patterson on the inside line. So Patterson holding through. Josh T's laughing. Why?
The definition of lag in a game.
And Hill's going to go on the inside line of Watson. Dan Camish is ready to slip through on the inside line too. Hill goes through. He's got a busted rear right window as Hill. It's been looked like it's been punched through. And Watson's dropped down, and it's getting wetter somehow, that part of the track. But it's not raining anymore. It's scattered showers, but it's not raining. It's just the standard water. And look at that again. Oh, lock up from Camish. Trying to go right. Oh, Hill's locked up. Hill's got a suspension failure. Hill's front left suspension has failed. Hill's tyre's gone, and he is out of the race. Can he keep it going? But is it locked up with debris? What's happened? It's leaving a long mark down, but Jake Hill is in real strides. Ingram goes through. And has it got going again? And has it started rotating? I can't tell. But the front left tyre for Hill just got gunked up. And there goes Josh Cook on the inside of Lloyd for third. So Cook takes Lloyd for third position. What's happened to Hill? Think goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, well, we've got to see what's happened to Hill. Here's Lloyd trying to get the position back from Josh Cook.
No, can't get through. A little bit too wide as well. This race, Josh T, is just being insane. Cook goes wide again.
Yeah, well...
Oh, and that's Chilton with Osborne round the outside. Go on, Josh.
Yep, Chilton down the inside. Hill trying to get back position from Turkington. And they're still side by side. There's a little bit of door banging. That was too close.
A little bit of contact between them as well. Hill staying through. Looks like his tyre's okay now. Whatever was wrong with it has been sorted. And the light's having to come on for poor visibility. Has it started rotating? Yes, it has. So the front left wheel has now started rotating for Jake Hill. It just stopped coming through the mid part of the course. I didn't know why. Really bizarre stuff. As Lloyd continues on the attack.
Was it front left?
Yeah.
Was it at the apex or the exit of the hairpin?
Exit. Just he went into the gravel. It locked up, and he just wouldn't. He just wasn't going down the straight. I think it must have had something caught in it. I'm thinking.
No doubt that's pretty much gravel in the wheel.
That's what I was thinking. Gravel and stopping it going round. As there goes Chilton on the inside line of Osborne. Osborne goes a bit too wide. Chilton makes up another position. That's up into 15th and into the points for Tom Chilton, the man who was P3 in race 1 but got disqualified for failing the ride height. Down the straight we go. So warm now in this commentary box. It's unbelievable. And there is Sutton, leading by 4.4 seconds.
Well, I told you as soon as Sutton overtook, well, that's the end of that. The only way that someone else can win is if Sutton passes it.
Oh, Josh Cook fancies a rerun of race number 1. And he's going to go around the outside and get ahead of Pearson.
That works as well.
So Cook's back, and now it's race 1 again. Sutton versus Cook. And remember what happened last time? They hit each other off. A little bit of a thank you there from Josh Cook, I noticed there. A little bit of an indicator to go through. As Cook takes second away from Pearson. So, we've got 19.27, 5.4 seconds for Cook to gain up. It should be doable now there's some clean air going on. As Lloyd, having to go defensive from Tom Ingram, is all over the back of him, coming through McIntyre's. He's practically pushing him through Butchers and up towards the Black Circle chicane and up through the Dentons as well. No, Tingram can't find a way through. Lloyd is holding his nerve, holding the inside line, and he's going to push as much as he can. Tingram wants this back. He needs as many points as possible after losing race 1. Sutton, he went from being 6 points ahead to 6 points down to 30 points in the lead, and that's not how you go for a position.
Oh.
Ingram locking up, whacking the back of Dan Lloyd. They both don't lose a position, but it was just a little bit of a, well, love tap, really. And here comes Ricky Collard.
That's the replay of it.
Just couldn't stop, could he?
Yeah, I just couldn't. A lot of them struggling to start with different parts in these wet conditions, going for brave moves, to be honest. But that's how you make a move.
Bonjour, je m'appelle. Up the inside as well. I know we're in Scotland, are you? Isn't it? We're in Scotland. So you've got to get someone get the Scottish accent as well in there. Oh, and Lloyd having a bit more wideness, and as Ingram comes back through in front of me.
I really want to laugh at something, but...
Sutton 5.808 ahead now at the moment. No sign of anything from race control. Go on. Ingram breaks himself. I thought you were going to say fastest lap there, Josh, and yeah, about what it was about. But yeah, Ingram locked up while you were about to say it. Go on.
Well, Cook had fastest lap, but now Sutton has it.
55.892. There's Ingram. Sorry, that is Turkington with Chilton right behind them. It's getting a bit too hot in this commentary box now. Ambient temperature rising outside. It is 21 degrees. So it's getting hotter in here as well. And I can't open the door, which really annoys me.
I've got a few more hours in here until I can open the door and windows so the bugs come in.
Oh! Taylor Smith knocks his teammate Watson out of shape, and Hill on the inside. Hill! Did he just tap him? I think Hill just tapped Taylor Smith for the final points paying position. Oh, this race has got it all, hasn't it? Just won't stop. And that's Ingram getting it wide.
Yep, straight into the gravel there. And here's Sutton. Did he have a mistake at the chicane?
Did he touch it again?
Is he doing over Stratford?
Oh! Yes. Just kissing. Sutton has literally just pitched it perfectly throughout the entire day. We saw him in race 2 properly whack the curbs as Ingram passes Lloyd, finally for 4th.
He's doing over Verstappen, doing like 1 or 2 mistakes in the lead, but nothing's costing him, is it, right now?
Nope, nothing's costing him. Everything's just being status quo. Another great performance from him. 22 of 27. Ingram now ahead, and he will set off Pearson for third position. Ingram now becomes second in the championship running. No points for Hill. That puts him back on 258 points. Turkington, oh, that's Michael Kreese in the grass. Gets back onto terra firma. Ingram goes a bit too late into Taylor's hairpin. And Patterson trying to get through on Ricky Collard for sixth position as they come across the line. This is a replay of Michael Kreese. He's going to get a tap from Stephen Jelly.
Jelly, been involved in a lot of accidents today and this weekend, I've noticed.
And he caused a red flag to team qualifying yesterday. That was spinning round. Not really the best idea. Track looks a bit of a dry line at the top of the hill there, actually. It's not too bad coming out the chicane. So, yeah, fingers crossed. We don't have any more rainfall because these wet tyres are going to start blistering.
Line at Knockhill, what's that?
An unusual thing that nobody expected to see, but everybody wants to see it. But this has been, I think, one of the best weekends we've had this season of the touring cars. Jade Edwards is out. Edwards is out of the race. And that's Camish passing Butcher on the inside line. No, timing screen's corrected itself. Jade Edwards is not out. It was a transponder issue.
And is out of hybrid for the rest
She's
of
out
the
of
race,
hybrid,
and that's one of the nappers.
Who was that in the pit lane?
Coming out. Rowbottom.
Oh, not again, yeah. So, a little bit of a timing screen issue for Jade Edwards there. She's still in the race at 21st position. Rowbottom gets a tap from the 17. Lloyd has a sliding moment, and as it starts to rain again, it is raining down at Duffer's Dip, and through goes Collard, gives him a love tap. Lloyd hits the side of Patterson once, twice. Cook, that's Moffat, trying to come through.
Hardly as well.
Yeah, so what did Patterson do to him? Lloyd's just having a fight with anybody today. Look at that with Moffat as well. These two old rivals. They starred a film together as well, Dan Lloyd and Aidan Moffat. They're part of the Rush movie back in 2013. And they're just properly taking 7 bells out of each other as we come down to the braking zone once more. For Taylor. Oh, on the inside.
Yep, and that's
Bang!
Moffat up the inside. Oh.
And wing damage. And Moffat's going to hit the back of Lloyd. And he's going to push him up the hill. So, yeah, not good. Now, what are we watching here? Oh, that's Lloyd hitting.
Between Lloyd. Oh.
Just aggressively holding his position, wasn't he? But Moffat was having none of it. It's like, no, you get back in your corner.
That's going to be interesting to hear what Lloyd has to say about that on his YouTube weekend.
Sutton was on... Okay, so Sutton, are you ready for this? He's going to take... he's going to move to point number 301. He's on 288. You get a point for fastest lap, and you get a point for leading a lap, and you get 21 for the win. That's 23 maximum. Sutton at the moment will be on 301 points in the touring cars leaving this round. And don't forget, if it wasn't for the fact that Ingram got disqualified in race 1, Sutton would still not be. He still wouldn't be leading the championship. That's insane. Sutton has had the luckiest weekend of his career, and it's kept him the championship lead. After one of the miserable ones at Croft as well, Josh T. So this is great news. This is bounced back, isn't it, massively?
Yeah, back on track for Napa. They had an absolutely horrible weekend in Napa at Croft for some drivers, but for other drivers at Croft, it was an absolute great weekend. But that is Lloyd aggressively defending his position once more. His person currently in third. He's on track for a position, but Tom Ingram is about to spoil that as he goes towards the inside. But we start the final lap. Can Pearson hold on?
Last lap then here, and Ingram really, well, they're teammates, so does Pierce. Oh, and that's Collard literally punching the side of Patterson in order to keep him in for 5th position. Now, does Ronan Pearson let his teammate through for the championship? That's a question, as Collard stays ahead, and Moffat now in a battle on the inside line, and he gets ahead of Daniel Lloyd. This is a question and a half, isn't it? What would you do? It's going to be tight.
It's my first podium, so no.
Well, Ingram's going to go through on the inside line, and he's going to take it away from Pearson. Pearson hits it. The two teammates come together, but Ingram takes third. But Ash Sutton has the luckiest comeback weekend of his career. 301 points, not out for Ash Sutton. He wins for the 8th time in 2023. Josh Cook will be back in second position after getting out of it in race 1 from Sutton's own hand. Tom Ingram will finish in 3rd position to save the championship run. Pearson on his home soil is 4th, Collard 5th, Patterson 6th, Moffat 7th, Lloyd 8th, Gamble 9th, Camish 10th, Doble is 11th, Butcher 12th, Osborne 13th, Hill 14th. It's a battle to the line as Taylor Smith takes it for the final point. Then Watson, Turkington, Nilpois in 2 out of the 3 races. Then it's Morgan, Jelly, Chilton, Edwards and Butel, the last of the finishers. Amazing race. Napa continue their winning streak of at least 1 in every event this season. It's his 8th win of 2023. A point for leading a lap, a point for fastest lap, and 21 for the win. 23 in the bag, which puts him on 301. Anyone for darts? I've just run through the results, but take a look at them once more in full. Wow, Ash Sutton does it again, an 8th win this season, absolutely spellbinding. Josh Cook takes 2nd position as well after he didn't take it earlier on with a race win when Sutton forced him out of it as well. But we've already seen the results, we've gone through them. What we want to see right now is the Drivers' Championship. And the reason we want to see that is because we need to know exactly what the points difference is between everybody and what that gap is going to be. I've worked it out as it's 301 points. Let's take a look at it now as they come across. Ash Sutton leads on 310 points in the championship now. He takes a 39-point lead to Tom Ingram on 271. Jake Hill is 50 points back on 260. And Colin Turkington, 229, is 81 points back. And Dan Camish gets himself in the fight, 90 points back on 220. Ash Sutton wins round 21, and we're going to hand down to pit lane for all of the latest news from them.
It's really, really good news. Can you imagine the roar?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
and the Jack Sears Trophy, of course, is for drivers who have not finished on the podium prior to this season. So Ronan, of course, being new to the championship, is very qualified for that.
Yeah, he's been brilliant today, hasn't he, Ronan Pearson? I think you're absolutely right, Robert. Bearing in mind, you know, Tom Ingram has been in this championship for a long time. Ash Sutton's been in it since 2016. Josh Cook has been in it for a year longer than that. The 3 drivers that have got ahead of him, 2 of them are champions, and Josh Cook is an independence champion. There's no shame in coming 4th in that race.
Ash is enjoying a moment with not only his dad, but also the rest of the team as well. Steve Richardson, who is the MD of Napa UK, one of the driving forces behind the tartan livery and the support of Race Against Dementia this weekend. And Ash has still got his helmet on. Actually, it's started to rain again, so that's probably a right decision. But he's going down the line is Ash. And Pete Osborne arrives, the team owner, and lifts him up high off his feet, and they celebrate. The official photograph is taking place now. Ingram is out of the car. He's over with the team, with Marvin, with Sandra, and receiving hugs from them because he did the job that he had to do on the final lap to make sure of maximum possible points for his championship campaign. He was really, really unhappy, really upset after the first race today, but and Josh Cook is here. He's just putting his helmet away, and I'll tell you what, Josh, that was determined.
I gave it a go.
You really did, goodness me.
Yeah, from where we were after race 1, you know, I think the pace we've had this weekend, we've deserved something. So good to keep plugging away and come back with that P2. I just didn't quite have it left in the tank after getting through the traffic to do anything about Ash. So you know, we'll take that. Really pleased. Like I say, everybody at One Motorsport deserves, you know, deserves a lot more than we've been getting at the moment. And you know, a huge credit to Aidan as well. I think he finished 7th. You know, from the issues he had in race 2, just incredible job by him. So we've got to be pleased with the job that we've done today.
All the ITV umbrella has arrived, Josh. Off you go. Television interview. I think I've overstepped my welcome down here as far as the live interviews are concerned for ITV. So let me get myself together and I'll get myself off to the podium for the final podium of the day. Oh, no, hang on. He's a friend of mine, so I'm going to say well done, Tingram. That was maximum points for what you could get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to, after a day like the day we've had, we've got to just try and get as many points as we can. I feel terrible. I feel absolutely awful, but we've got to go for big points, haven't we?
I totally get that. Thank you, Tingram, and yeah, ITV1. By the way, it is now pouring with rain once again. It really isn't very pleasant at all, and I can't say it's as heavy rain that we had before the race got underway, but it's still pretty heavy. So I've taken an executive decision. I am not going to the podium yet.
No, quite right. Yeah, good to hear from second and third, Josh Cook and Tom Ingram. So Tom Ingram saying there, you know, we've had a...
Yeah, an interesting weekend, I think, is what you can say to that as well. And I honestly believe, Josh T, starting with you, we have had a cracking day. But this championship, Ashton's got one hand on it now going into the next 3 races, because there's only 3 left, isn't there? We've got Donington next up on the GP, then it's Silverstone. Then we go off as well to Brands Hatch. So he could even wrap it up before the final weekend at Brands.
Yep, he definitely can. But it's been an incredible day of British touring car action across the main series and, of course, all of the support series. It's been a great day here at Knockhill, despite the questionable weather, the classic Knockhill weather at times. But yeah, it's been a really good day.
Omi as well, not a bad way to not have a Formula 1 weekend, but it was a lot of fun. Have you enjoyed it today?
It's been incredible. Touring cars has been incredibly fun. A very great weekend of the touring cars, and I think touring cars are starting to return to like what it was, because Alton Park was good, and then I think last time, even though I didn't really watch most of it, I think Donington was. Were we at Donington last time?
No, it was Croft.
Ah, right. Yeah, I literally forgot, because I know it's Donington's next, right? I'm getting confused between them.
Donington next.
But yeah, Croft was good, and then obviously this weekend has been good as well.
Okay, well, let's hand over. Omi, we will let you go now because you have got to get to One Hub Racing. So thank you for your company this weekend. We'll let you go now.
I have about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's enough time then to wrap up. Let's hand over to Steve Ryder quickly as well and get the final interviews from the top 3 from Louise Goodman's side. And then just make sure everything's shipshape, ready to go.
And that's the benefit. So the man who looked at one point during the course of the day as if he was going to lose the championship lead entirely is now commanding the whole title battle. And he's standing by to talk with Louise.
Well, Ash, what a day it's been for you. I mean, that win, that's now given you almost it's a 39-point lead in the championship. So that's 6 points. It's well and truly in the past now.
Well, we got over our race 3 hurdle, and what better way to do it with a win? But it's weird, like, we just chatted off air, and I was saying that today feels a bit disappointing. You go from leading the race in race 1 to finishing P7, you know. Have a stonk in race 2, don't get me wrong, and pull it back. But I needed that, just for myself. It was to get over the race 3 hurdle, to give the boys and girls everything they deserve with what they've put into this car. Things are absolute rails, absolute rails.
It looked like that, even in those, well, let's face it, very treacherous conditions. It was just nailed down.
Yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong, I think Toka and the championship did the right call with a safety car start. Conditions were bad at the start, but then water started to disperse, cars going round, and the car it was like someone cut a groove in the track for me, and I just cracked on with the job in hand.
39 points. I mean, we've talked previously about, you know, it gets more important as the championship goes on. That's another round down, 3 more to go. That's a big gap to have, isn't it?
It's the biggest gap I've ever experienced in touring cars, so I'm not going to complain about it at all. But we've seen, even this weekend, how quick things can change. So I'm not going to get too excited just yet. It's we're closer than we've ever been before, but it's yeah, we still need to be clever.
Well done. Enjoy this moment for now. And, yeah, I'm happy to say that they're talking to each other again. I mean, although, to be fair, you know, I missed you. You hid, I think, after that race 1 incident. You were absolutely mad, weren't you?
It was
bit dizzy as well. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, you know, and of course nobody can predict the weather, but until that point I thought, you know, I was feeling pretty comfortable. The cars felt good all weekend, so to end up in the wall at, you know, turn 2 wasn't how we saw our day panning out. But you know, I think, you know, that podium was earned in race 2 really, with the, you know, with the car that I had beneath me then was unbelievable. And to be on the medium tyre, you know, the slower tyre, and to come back from where we did, it just shows how good the car was in those conditions. But yeah, in that last race I just needed to try and make my way forwards, and yeah, sadly when I got through the traffic, Ash had pulled out a bit of a lead, so just got the call on the radio, bring it home. So you know, huge credit to them. They've been pretty quick all weekend, but it's nice for us to finish off with the P2.
And it wasn't easy getting through to that P2. I mean, as you say, it was really well earned.
Yeah, it was. You know, I couldn't just sort of carve my way through. I mean, I ended up, I think, having a bit of contact with Collard at one point, and I had to back out, let him back through. So it was a bit of a, you know, going forwards, going backwards, trying to find the gaps. But the visibility obviously wasn't great at the start, but just really pleased that I managed to keep it on the black stuff this time, and then also award the team with a podium, because, you know, everybody at Starline Racing One Motorsport deserves so much more than what they've had this year, and that P2 doesn't even come close to what they deserve. So you know, I'm just glad that we've got something for them. Well done.
Great to see you with a smile on your face again, and another man who made a great fight back there. And yeah, let's bring in your teammate Ronan as well, because we'll come on to that in a minute. But let's talk about, first of all, just put this in the context of your day, from obviously losing that race 1 win to fight back to a podium at the end.
It's a tricky situation, you know, to be in when at the start of the day, the jubilation of getting the victory is there, and suddenly to have it taken away, your focus then always has to just turn to race 3 and just try to recover anything you can. And on a day like today, when points are down, be so down to the wire that we've got to make as many as we can, it makes it a fairly tough comeback, and especially around somewhere like here that's difficult to make a huge amount of headway. That second race was the one that sort of brought us quite back into contention, especially on the grid. Obviously, the balls never quite fell our way, but you know, I think we did a good job considering where we were back at the start of the day to where we finished it.
Well, you finished it on the podium, but what a tricky situation to be in, because in order to get onto that podium, you basically had to deny your teammate his first podium. Just tell us how that feels. I know you were straight up to Ronan when he got out of the car.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I've just kicked a puppy. I came in and I said I've never been more sorry to have to do something. But you know, Ronan has done such an amazing job this weekend. He's absolutely proved his worth in a British touring car around a circuit that is so hard to overtake, somewhere that is notoriously difficult in mixed conditions. In every session he's just been on it, so it was horrible, you know, but you know, yeah, I feel horrible for it, but you know that we've got to go for maximum points, and yeah, it's a horrible thing to have to do, but you know, I said to Ronan as soon as he came out, he's done such an amazing job this weekend. It's I hated the fact that it had to be me. But you know, Ronan's, as I say, proved his worth. He's going to be getting race wins and podiums without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, 100% proved his worth, because Ronan, you were in the lead for the first 50% of that race, weren't you?
Yeah, until that first safety car, I thought, this is mine. I had no front end left at the end of that race. It was probably wise to let Ash and Josh come by. I was quite happy sat where I was. Tom was closing in, and yeah, just had to do the right thing, and yeah, I hope he wins it by a couple of points at the end of the season. We still got the Jack Sears win, still got a trophy for that, and yeah, I couldn't really be more thankful to the team, and yeah, what we have managed to achieve on home turf this weekend has been incredible, and I'm really proud. You know, if he'd have given me these set of results coming into the weekend, I'd have said, yeah, I will take that any day of the week. So
I'm really pleased that you're still seeing the bright side. Well done. Your time will come. I have absolutely no doubt your time will come. Back to Steve for a few final thoughts.
Thank you very much indeed, Louise. And while we're all paying tribute to each other, can I just pay tribute to the ITV outside broadcast staff for standing out there on the gantries and the platforms in that torrential rain to bring us such fantastic pictures. They did a great job. And if they can just stand out there for another 10 minutes, we're going to have a nice little chat about the events of the day here. So, looking back on that race 1 today...
You giveth and you take it away,
exactly,
don't you?
Right. Looking back, I mean, at the end of it, even before the ride height thing, to look ahead and think, are we going to finish this day with Ash Sutton with a 39-point championship lead? No, he looked very unlikely to be in the championship lead at the end of race 1.
Yeah, I mean, the way this championship has ebbed and flowed this weekend, not just over the 3 races, but over 2 races, has just been incredible from the points point of view. We talked at the start of the day that anything could happen here, and it usually does. It's so dramatic, so difficult to race here.
I think we'll call it there from ITV and we can wrap us up as well, because Omi's left us. He's had to go to One Hub Racing as well. But I tell you what, Josh, what a day we've had. Best touring car action we've seen since Brands, and there has been so much drama. And Sutton, luckiest guy on the planet, he's kept the championship lead going forward.
Yeah, well, his nickname was Max Verstappen of British Touring Cars here at Game Motorsports and at some other places. I think he may have kept that with his performance and fight backs today. An amazing fight back for Ash Sutton, and as ITV said, I don't think any of us were expecting Sutton to exit with such a lead with his performance in race 1.
Yeah, and Ingram won the race, and he was leading the title by 6 points. We go into the next race, and suddenly it's a 20-point gap that Sutton has the advantage of, and then by the end of it, it's a 39-point gap. It's just unbelievable. Can he wrap the title up before the actual weekend of Brands Hatch, or will it still happen at weekend 10 at Brands?
I would like it to happen at Silverstone because
You're
that's
there.
where we all are. But it's gonna keep, if it happens at Brands, then it's gonna keep it as like a final round.
Yeah.
Championship, which is what we like to see, which is definitely not happening in F1 this season.
Indeed not. Right, just going to tell you about a few more things that's coming up here as well. NASCAR is on our partners channel, USRN on the Mixler app, the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, of course, on the road course for NASCAR's Cup Series on their double weekend. They take you through that tonight starting at 7 o'clock, so in around about 20 minutes' time. You can join their coverage for it as well. Josh T, thank you very much for your company this weekend, and as well to Omi and to Adam as well for joining us on the broadcast. Thanks, of course, to Alan Hyde and Chris Hartley for taking us through the commentary trackside here, as they have done all season long. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back, and it'll look a bit different as well, because Josh T will be standing alongside me in the commentary box, this very box as well.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah, it's going to be very weird. We will be calling races 1 and 3. Race 2 will have a commentary partner of Jess and Megan with Omi in there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. 2 weeks' time, we go to Donington Park, and for the first time in over 30 years, we're going to use the Melbourne Loop hairpin as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. 3 weekends left in the British Touring Car Championship. Ash Sutton leaves here with a 39-point lead. He came in 6 points ahead, lost it by 6 points, got it back by 20, now makes it 39. What a weekend. Come to Scotland, they said. Come for the warm, beautiful hills. It's wet, it's windy, and the championship has been blown out of proportion. Sutton dominates here in Scotland. We'll see you back in Donington Park in 2 weeks' time. Take care. Bye-bye.